Sukuanga Pisartan Gorninuyik Tunumit. Folks, do I need to repeat myself? Usually we start the show by saying, morning, folks, welcome to the Joey Show. I'm Joey Avery. Today we're starting off by saying, Sukuanga Pisartan Gorninuyik Tunumita. And I don't have to tell you why we're saying that. You should already know. Of course, I am speaking Kalaallisut, which is the native language of the Inuit population of Greenland, and we might as well get used to understanding it. We're going to talk Greenland today, folks, but we're not going to do what everyone else is doing. We are going to learn about Greenland today because learning is fun. Yes, of course, we know that the reason we're talking Greenland today, for some of you, is because Trump has been ramping up his demands for it, saying that the United States should get it. There were leaked texts with the president of Norway in which Donald Trump said, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars, plus I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be predominant, but now can think about what is good and proper for the United States of America. Not understanding the two basic principles that the Norwegian government does not give out the Nobel Prize, nor do they own Greenland, but today we're going to learn a little bit about Greenland because why not? Dare I say, we're going to take a trip to Greenland. Gird your loins. Unwet your panties. That's really not a good phrase. Wet them, actually, frankly. Wet your panties. If that's what you... But I wouldn't do that on the way to Greenland because it's very cold. That's our first fact of the day. Longtime listeners of the Joey Show will remember that we planned a trip back in the day. We went on TripAdvisor and we planned a full trip to North Korea. Well, folks, saddle the fuck up. We're going to Greenland today. And I started off by telling you, Sukuanga Pisartangornu Kektunumita. And of course, many of you know, the native Greenlanders listening to this show would know that means suck my dick from the back. Boom, play an explosion. Boom, play another one because we're having fun here and we are going to Greenland. I mean, it's been now, again, I've made my stance on this pretty clear. I'm a realist when it comes to global geopolitics. I also am someone who, having grown up during the whole Iraq era, I am sometimes dubious about us going around and fucking about abroad because I don't know if it brings maximum happiness to the largest group of people. Not saying there's never a reason why. I will tell you, I'm not just going to say, hey, Trump is crazy. I do think that. But I will tell you why we're doing this now. And also, we're going to learn about Greenland because it's fun. You know what? We're going to take a trip to Greenland, so I'm going to put on a nice, cold, wintry hat. I have my fur coat on, okay? I'm going to put on my nice little hat, and we're going to fire up the propeller plane, and we're going to Greenland. Let's go for a little trip. Now, let's begin with some facts. Population of Greenland, we're talking roughly 56,000 people, folks. That's small. That is roughly half of the stadium for a Michigan college football game. Think about that. The capital, Nuuk. Now, the capital's name is Nuuk. That is unfortunate, and I hope, look, I don't like to think this way, but let's say that's not foreshadowing, okay? But don't when you're a strategically positioned island on the global risk game known as life. Don't name your capital city Nuke. I'm sure it means something else. In Kalalisut. Now, I doubt that that's the accent or the correct pronunciation. If you are a native Greenlander, you're going to have to forgive. I'm going to be a bit of a gringo here. I can only be me. I am trying to learn about what is going on 2 weeks ago, Venezuela, 1 week ago, Iran, this week, Greenland. Hey, Carmen Sandy fucking Ego, where are we going to next? Maybe, because a lot of people like to attribute their own hopeful, they take Trump and they project their own potential hopes or grievances against the global system, and they project onto him, maybe he's just doing what I want, and he's what we need to fix the system by being crazy. That's how you talk yourself into it. I'm going to say maybe he just wants to teach us ignorant Americans about the world. And today we're going to do that. Population, 56,000 people, around 19,000 people in Nuke. That's a hockey match. That is a small little city. There are comedians in the United States of America that sell more than this amount in Tallahassee because they're showing off their man tits and drinking a beer. And I would love to be on that tour. Please book me. I'm just giving you an idea of the amount of tickets, okay? Just size, scale. There's not a lot of people here. Now, I made a mistake. I thought, hey, Greenland feels like a bunch of outdoorsy whites. It feels like a big, old, fat fucking Wisconsin. And there's a lot of fats fucking in Wisconsin, and that's neither here nor there. But that's what I was thinking. No, it turns out the population is about 80, 90% native Greenlanders. And it's also 80% ice. Now I'm going to pause here because a lot of people are thinking, if that island is covered in ice, that's a very dangerous place to be because you might get shot in the face for driving your car around. Not the type of ice that we're talking about, and I think they need to cut it out as well. But it's covered in the classic concept of ice. A sheet of it. The solid state of the liquid known as water. This is a Bill Nye, this fucking science guy episode meets learning about the globe. This is fun. I feel like a child's placemat. I'm teaching you such lovely things. There are no roads connecting towns. Most travel is boat, helicopter, or tiny plane. It's technically part of the Kingdom of Denmark, but it governs itself. Now, why are we talking about, people kind of, people who assume the worst think Trump is just a crazy man and he's doing crazy things. Usually what happens is he wakes up and some people who have been paying attention to what's going on and have a very particular agenda sidle up to him and just kind of throw something into his brain, and it'll kind of bounce around and then it'll just manifest itself in an odd way. So why is Greenland happening now? I mentioned it's geopolitically, and guys, I put the hat on, we're gonna take our trip. I promise. Just laying some groundwork. It's geopolitically important, right? You can't have China or Russia. They want to come to Greenland. They see a capital named Nuke and they go, oh, wow, we want to put nukes right there. and they put them there, and they could explode them from there, and and a lot of people think those nukes hit Canada. No, they could hit right here in the United States. And that's the thing. So that's one thing. Also, Arctic ice is melting. That means new shipping routes are opening, controlling some of this global trade. It's becoming more important. It has rare earth minerals. Now, this is every nation's blessing in disguise. Venezuela, in addition to having some of the largest oil reserves in the world, also really high amount of rare earth minerals. Say it with me, class. Rare earth minerals. And if you have rare earth minerals, someone might come fuck you up. Someone might pull up to your house and fuck you up. It's like living in the hood, but everyone knows you have a nice watch collection. Uh-oh, someone might come. Someone might come to the house. It's like having too hot of a daughter. You live in fear. You live in fear because people with nefarious intent are coming through to plunder. And that's a scary position to be in, especially in the New World Order where we're just not really even pretending. We're just saying, all right, let's fucking get it. Now, maybe there's an underlying truth to how people have behaved, and Trump just takes off the restrictor plate of nicety. Sure, that's an argument, but I also think that increasing global instability at a rapid rate because of reportedly wanting basically achievements that will just make him look good. Like, hey, I got us the most land, even if it was mostly ice. Okay? So, rare earth minerals, the military positioning we talked about. And so everyone's like, oh, it's just a frozen wasteland. Really, this is a big chess piece. Okay? Much in the way Taiwan, big chess piece, because they make chips. And if China takes it and says, we have all the chips and we don't make chips of our own, we're fucked immediately. Okay. So now we understand a little bit about why everyone's bickering about it. But what we don't understand much about is Greenland itself. We need to understand why some of the people of Greenland are looking at this and saying, Sukuanga pisartan gorniuk tunun mieta, or something along those lines. The people there, they essentially they rule themselves, even though they technically belong to Denmark. Now, Trump's point is like, well, no one's really, we have air bases there, but no one's really defending it. This is going to become a big piece, and if you want us to defend you, we kind of need to fucking be like, all right, we defending us. That's what he's saying. Other people are saying, well, that was the point of NATO. And he's like, you don't pay. You're fat. You're lazy. You're European. You smell like cigarettes. You've been drinking wine at breakfast. We can all see it. You've got gray teeth. You've got gray, ugly European teeth. You've been smoking cigarettes and drinking Bordeaux and not doing NATO. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. So the president of Greenland, Jens Frederik Nielsen, doesn't sound quite as native as you'd think. He's a Greenlandic politician who served as the prime minister, of Greenland since 2025. He is the leader of the Democratic, they spell it K-R-A-A-T, Democratic. And he formerly served as Minister of Labor and Mineral Resources. Oh, I see. God damn. He is the first member of the Democratic Party to hold the office of Prime Minister. And he says, hey, you're not going to take Greenland. Now, here's one big problem that he's facing. He looks like Zelensky. That's not a great... Like the nuke thing, coincidences, hey, they don't... But also it's like, don't look just like the guy who got invaded by a world power in the other part of the world. Damn it. The other thing I would say he has going against him is he was born the same year as me. Oh, no. Have we reached that era of politics? Fuck. This, I think, is a seminal moment in my life. And I think it's a seminal moment in most people's lives where you realize that the people making the decisions are just as dumb or at least as old as you. Now, everyone complains about it like, damn, college football players are so young. We've been knowing that, and it is odd. Frankly, it's a weird thing that we do. We can be honest about it. Not even sure I like it that much. It's just embedded in our culture, and I'm bought in, okay? But now we have people my age running countries. And it's scary because I know how dumb I am. And I still think I'm smarter than a lot of these people. Now, I don't know anything about Jens Friedrich Nielsen. Okay, I'm going to be honest. We are learning about Greenland together. I can't tell you I'm an expert on it. I have other things going on in my life. I'm just saying we can learn together. It's what we do. So we can talk about Jens. One thing I learned about him, he actually is part native Greenlander, but he's also part Danish. He got made fun of. They would fight him. They would say mean things. The teachers wouldn't help because they would basically be like, you Danish fucking bitch. They would just pull up. Okay, Nielsen was born and raised in Greenland. His Danish father moved to Greenland as a child, and while his Greenlandic Inuit mother was born and raised in Greenland. His hometown is Nuuk. Nielsen has described experiencing bullying during his childhood because of his mixed background and appearance, stating that he was targeted by other pupils for looking Danish. Despite attending the Greenlandic language class and having a Greenlandic mother, he was told to go back to Denmark. This is what awaits us. You want to take this over, okay, and you're just going to have people, and I can only speak, I grew up closer to Hawaii than Greenland, so what I'm understanding them saying is, fuck you, Howley boy. You come around here, you come to our fucking beaches, you try to fuck our women. I don't know I actually don't know what accent I'm doing, but you understand this is what happens. It's like they don't like it when you're on their wave, man. You're on their wave, and you're like, dude, let's just I'm fucking part Greenlandic. I'm a fight for the Greenlandic people, and they're like, you're not one of us, Holly. Fucker, get off our fucking wave, bro. Come over here bringing fucking disease. This is what happens. This is what's funny about, but what's interesting about the whole thing is Trump is very focused on kicking foreigners out of the country and is like, but also what if I draft a bunch of foreign people into it who don't actually want to be part of it? And then, dude, we'll pull up and be like, I'm sorry. What? You don't even have fucking roads. You don't even have proper roads. But here he is. He has the political mix. He has the clout for being Greenlandic, but he also has the Dane in him so he can talk to the Danish people, you know? And maybe they should have someone. Look, I don't know. I don't know a lot about internal Greenlandic politics, but I know that Jens Friedrich Nielsen is actually a little bit younger than me. And he is running things. What a moment for me. This is when it begins. This is when, and you always suspect that people don't really know what's going on. And then eventually they become your peers and your suspicion is confirmed. The world is run by idiots. How do I know? Because I'm one of them and I can look them in the eye. That's a meta-analysis. I don't know enough about Jens Friedrich Nielsen to say one way or the other. He might be doing a great job. I don't know. I just know that he was elected to succeed Niels Thomsen as chair of the Democratic Party. I mean, whatever. It's one of these things where you kind of go, oh, interesting. After Russian forces had begun their war of aggression against Ukraine, Nielsen urged Polar Seafood to halt its Russian operations. And Trump, when he began his second term, March Nielsen condemned Trump's threats to invade Greenland, stating that we don't want to be Americans. No, we don't want to be Danes. We want to be Greenlanders, and we want our own independence in the future. Now, this is interesting. This little part here is interesting because we're having a negotiation where we're like, well, should we buy it from Denmark? And it's one of these things where I'm like, well, the people of Greenland should get to decide. But I'm like, well, but the Danes don't, you know. Why do they get to have it? Why do the Danes get to have? If they don't want the Danes to have them, look, if you're gonna have a colonial ruler, you might as well have the one that is AP ranked number 1 in the coach's poll. Maybe. I don't know. Trump said something very interesting on this. I saw it tweeted out, and someone framed it in a great way where they said he actually went so far right he became hard left. Because he was talking about the situation in Greenland, and he said, why does Denmark get to have it just because they landed a boat there hundreds of years ago? Sir, you're being really woke, actually. You take that talking point to a fucking lesbian slam poetry open mic night outside of Berkeley, California, and you will get snaps. Subaru snaps. You're getting snaps. You woke little lib. Donald Trump, lib of the year, question mark? Lib of the year? It's possible. It is possible, but let's learn more about Greenland. Now, people go to Greenland, and they go there for a few things. Some go for lights. The northern lights, that is. Tells you a little bit about how developed Greenland is. People go there to look at the sky. Something that allegedly we do have everywhere. Although bouncing between New York and LA, as I have been, I'm not sure space exists. This is a real feeling and experience that I have when I am in a city like this. And I may have talked about this before. It's hard to say. I talk a lot. But when you're in a city, like you look like the moon looks like someone just like hung a disco ball. It's just like, oh, it's a nice piece. It's a nice fixture. I'm sorry. Where are we going for dinner? When you're out in the mountains, you sit there and you're like, You're like, what does it all fucking mean, dude? I often forget that the Earth is in space. Does that make sense? It feels like we're like Earth and then space is just this like other place that you can go, but I forget. It's like, dude, we're in it. We're on a fucking... And this is where drugs can be helpful. You get this reminder, you're like, dude, we know it, but are you actually experiencing the reality that we're actually on a marble-shaped space shuttle that is in space as we are right now? Like, what do you mean go to space? We're actually in space. We're in space right now. Interesting thing, right? Interesting thing. We're actually in space right now. Look up, look around. See, that's why I like going to the mountains, because you see a shooting star and I'm like, something akin to the sun just exploded 4,000 years ago. And I'm looking at it at a 12-year-old going, I hope this girl from school kisses me on the cheek. What a weird species we are. What does that mean? That could have been wiping out fucking potentials for life, you know? And I'm like, if this bitch doesn't tongue me down at Sadie Hawkins, I'm going to flip my lid. Oh. We're a fun people. But I like checking out and checking in. Being in space. It always feels better, doesn't it? Like when you, and this is why the popular phrase that isn't ever going to go away is people are like, touch grass. What does that mean? It means you need to shut the, you need to get offline. You're losing your mind. You need to take a breath. Okay? And this show, it's a topical show. We talk about Trump clips. We talk about what's going on in the world. We try to discuss power and corruption. Yeah, who cares? Sometimes you need to just take a step back. I said this in an earlier episode. I was like, I do think that when you go online all the time, if you really buy in, and I think we have a range of listeners to this show, albeit a small batch, but a range of online people who like reaction and people who are like, wait, what's going on online? And I can tell you, I bet I know who's happier. But it's funny because there is a world online where you're like, we are really close to a civil war. And then you walk out into society and you like talk to a human being at a countertop in an Uber, in a car, whatever. And you're like, oh, people are still pretty cool. And that's why you touch grass. And that's why you got to go to the mountains. And that's why people go all the way to Greenland just to see the lights. They go up there, they take a peek at the lights. All right, that's nice. But that's the main thing to do. If you go there, if you are planning a trip, here's what you need to remember. The food's not going to be fucking cheap. Okay, a pizza could be $40 to $50. You want a glass of milk, baby boy? That could be $9. People are bitching about that. How the fuck is the milk $9? Well, I don't know, Steve. It came from a different continent. All this shit's shipped in from Denmark. What are they eating? Hans Christian Andersen books? I have limited facts about Denmark. I just used one of them. What is the main food in Denmark? I bet it's a salted fish. Main food in Denmark. Give it to me, Daddy. Rye bread, pork, fish, and root vegetables. Wow. Whoopity-doo-dah. With iconic dishes such as smørrebrød, open-faced rye sandwiches for lunch, and steget flæsk, crispy pork belly with parsley sauce and potatoes as the national dish, reflecting a diet rooted in local hearty ingredients like cabbage, potatoes, and dairy, complemented by pastries and seafood. Now let's do that again for Greenland. What are we gonna, let's plan a trip. This is, and I don't recommend this, not only a trip, we're gonna plan a bachelor party to Greenland. We're gonna get the boys together, okay? And we're gonna head to fucking Nuuk, and we're gonna see what kind of trouble we can get into. But first, Greenland's main foods come from hunting and fishing, focusing on seals, whales, musk oxen, reindeer, and various fish and birds. I don't know if I'm doing my batch here anymore. Often eaten raw, dried, or boiled. Oh boy. With sausot, a hearty meat and onion soup, as the national dish. Though modern diets blend in international foods. Oh, wow. Key ingredients include marine mammals like a seal. And it says in parentheses here, pussy. Hey. Shit. Hey, we going out to Greenland to get some pussy. Hey. We just out here planning a... Hey, we got some single guys on this trip. We just looking to get some pussy. And that would be seal. And when we're saying that, what we would be saying is something that's actually very respectful and understanding of the culture in which we were in. And people, Americans, especially large groups, bachelors, bachelorettes, ladies, you're not innocent. We don't always do that. We don't always do that well. And you need to, because it's so important to go and say, I want to understand the local culture. I'm not just here to take, right? And this is what I don't think Trump understands this. He doesn't know. He doesn't know the mainland. We now already know more about Greenland than he does, and that's the problem. And that's the problem because he doesn't know about Kalalisut. Okay? He just knows about Sukuanga Pisar Tanaraktakdit Tunumit. And so we go out there and with full respect and understanding and in an effort to connect with the local population and be givers, not takers, and students of travel, we would go out there and we'd say, give me a taste of your finest pussy. Hey. Give me some of that. And whale. and whale is another one. And land animals like musk ox and caribou. And matak, which is a whale skin and fat, being a unique snack. But the primary protein, rich in fat, and eaten raw or dried and often used in sausat, is in fact pussy. So we would go out there and we would eat some pussy. That's the plan, okay? But it's going to be an expensive trip, guys. It's going to be a very expensive trip. So there's no Uber. There are no road trips. Flights can get canceled constantly due to weather, okay? So not great for, like, the gram. Like, you get the Northern Lights, great, okay? But, like, if you want to go there, you're just going to be kind of chilling out, okay? Maybe a little hike. You also are going to want to take into account the sun, all right? Because in the summer, it is light 24 hours a day. We're going to need blackout shades. We're going to need blackout shades after a long night of eating pussy. Winter is months straight of darkness. So people there casually live just without seeing the sun. You just get, do you know how we claim to have depression in this country? We claim and pretend to have depression in this country because we followed our dreams and can't buy a house. These motherfuckers are hunting reindeer and go months without seeing the sun. Do they have a therapist? No. There's 56,000 people. How many of them are therapists? There's no therapists. They're hunting whales. They don't have time. They're trying to not die on the ice. Do we think they're eating the $40, $50 pizza? No, they're eating plenty. They're eating plenty in the dark. And they're handling their depression the true Scandinavian way, which I would imagine is with a high rate of unaliving. But that is a little dark, much like their entire winter. So we could go sealing, we could go whaling. Hunting the reindeer would be a little tough. A lot of my friends love Christmas. I don't know if they could hunt a reindeer. You know, we would leave carrots out. Did you guys do that when Santa would come? Assuming Santa came in your house. Santa came in your house, he says. We'd leave out the milk and cookies, but my mom would also be like, leave out a carrot for the reindeer, you know, and that's a nice touch because it's like, oh, the reindeer need to eat too. And then also for her, and what she was really actually interested in, and if you know my mom at all, you're going to love this, was vegetable-based propaganda. That's what she was after. She was kind of leaving the carrot out there for the reindeer, but she was also like, A, hoping my dad would have a bite of the vegetable when he came down and ate the fucking cookies as Santa Claus. And B, also could then kind of the next morning be like, well, see, the reindeers actually like vitamin C and fiber and things that are actually good for them. Santa eats processed food. That's why he's so fat. Vegetable-based propaganda, not incorrect. And that's the thing about propaganda. Sometimes it's right. But you got to understand who's telling it to you and why. Some towns restrict alcohol sales. That's going to be a problem. And Kalali suit words are long, poetic, and unpronounceable. Yes, of course. Okay, let's go to TripAdvisor here, and I think this is where we're really gonna make some money. Let me pause here and see if I can get a screen share going so you can just follow along. Okay, we're on TripAdvisor, baby. Let's plan this trip to Greenland. Essential Greenland things to do. Ilulissat Ice Fjord. Okay, so that's a geologic formation. World of Greenland. A visitor center. Looks like another kind of... It seems like we're going to be looking at a lot of glaciers. Again, I'm not shitting on Greenland. I'm not saying we deserve to invade. I'm saying if we're going to discuss it, let's learn a little bit about Greenland. Looks like a lot of ice. Here's another one of the things to do. Ikipsirmia Glacier. We love ice out here, and these attractions are going away. And I don't like that either. I think we should leave it. But it's melting, and there's going to be new trade routes forming, and I'm sure an unsinkable boat will sail through them, and let's hope it goes well. Cornock, a point of interest in Landsmark. This is actually, if you're going to believe it, this is a mountain that's snowy. We have a scenic walking area, Sirmimut. Okay, that is also an icy walk. Oh, the Nuuk Cathedral. Let's take a peek at this. Let's dive in a little bit deeper here. This is number 5 of things to do in Nuuk. This shit looks like what? It's a very basic, it is the type of church, and with all due respect to the people of Nuuk and their house of worship, I could build this in my backyard. Okay, and it's okay. So the bachelor party, we're getting there, and we're gonna try to see the Northern Lights. Okay, so that's important. We're gonna have to check out this cathedral. This is not exactly a European cathedral. Okay, we're gonna check. So now we know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go on some snowy walks, and that's good. How about this? Nuuk walking tour with Greenlandic beers and Arctic burgers. Is that burger made of penny? $2.50. Okay, no reviews so far. Brewing traditions and everyday culture into one engaging walk. Stroll through Colonial Harbor and the town center as your guide shares stories about Greenlandic life, food, and modern creativity. The last part was weird. Only when open, enjoy a visit to Greenland's only distillery, where Arctic ingredients meet craft innovation. End your journey at a cozy cafe with a Greenlandic burger and beer pairing, reflecting the warmth and evolving taste of today's Arctic cuisine. It's the perfect mix of walking, tasting, and storytelling. Okay. So there's not a lot to do. Now, can we go out? Let's do this. Nightlife in Nuuk. Okay? You know what? Let's speed this up. If I wanted to plan a bachelor party in Nuuk, what's the most trouble I could get into? Now, and I'm not saying the way we should travel the world is by getting out there and mixing it up and getting in trouble. The thing is, I think I understand the type of trip we'd be having if we went to Greenland. We'd be walking around and we'd be looking at ice, and it would be amazing. And I'd be so interested in it because glaciers are a limited time only offer. And that is nice and that is fun. Okay, short answer. Way less trouble than you're imagining, but the vibe of trouble is extremely specific. Here's the realistic most trouble bachelor party scenario in Nuuk. Now we're cooking. Out drinking locals and losing badly. This immediately sounds like a fist fight. I feel like I'm going to get beaten within an inch of my life from a native who very likely has every right to do it. Just showing up hammered and being like, Trump said it was fucking lit. Can we come through? My boy's getting married. Bars exist, but there are only a handful. Locals can drink, and they're used to tourists overestimating themselves. You think this is chill, then suddenly it's 3 a.m., you're outside in Arctic wind, and someone is crying. Not injured, just spiritually. See, now we're fucking talking. Okay, so a spiritual cry. And I know some people don't love AI. I'm sorry. We're live on a pod. I had to cut to the chase. I could read 1,000. Visit Greenland. The reviews are all the same. The food's expensive because it came from Denmark. And if you're getting a nice hotel, it better have a nice view because it's not going to be as nice as you thought. That's the trip. How are we going to get in trouble? Not that we should. Just testing the waters, and boy, are they icy. Okay. Getting stranded while just going for an adventure. Weather flips fast. Okay, So you can go from a nice little ice walk to end of life movie quickly, and you will lose cell service. Okay. Worst case, Coast Guard involvement, which is extremely uncool and extremely expensive. Best case, everyone survives is best case. And the groom never forgives you. Okay, so that's trying to force a Vegas energy that doesn't exist. There's no strip club. There's no nightclub district. There's no bottle service. There's no let's bar hop for 12 hours infrastructure. Okay. So if you're trying to really get after it, you're just going to piss bartenders off and become that American bachelor party that everyone talks about. The Greenlandic culture is polite, reserved, low tolerance for drunk clown behavior. I don't really appreciate the implication, but I asked it with this in mind. I want to know what it's like. Most places, when I go places, okay, I go there as a gentleman and a scholar. I show up. I've done a little research. Did I do it on the plane? Yeah, but I did a little research. I'll read the history. I'll listen to ancient pods. I will know about, I was just in France. Did I learn about the French Revolution? Yeah, I did. Okay. I learn about the history. I understand things. Okay. I'm not a piece of shit. However, I have found in my traveling of the world that when I go to a place that sucks ass, and I'm not saying Greenland does. We just started learning about it. But when I go to a place that sucks, it makes me really happy that I haven't allowed my drinking to get to a place that I have to be sober. Because one of the things that makes a place that kind of sucks kind of cool is catching the right buzz in the right bar at the right time. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, dude, Lincoln, Nebraska's fucking sick. And I know a bunch of people are like, actually, it is sick. Yeah, whatever. The one time I went, the reason I liked it is because my friend and I were like, let's just go get drunk at this bar. And there's something about having 3 fucking tall, cold ones in your system that will make you go, yeah, people are all kind of the same. It's kind of nice here. I like it. I'm vibing with it. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. If I'm going here, I get it. I'm walking the ice. I'm looking at shit. The food's expensive. The hotels are not exactly a Fairmont, Donald. But can we get into it? Okay. Here's what you don't want to do. Don't disrespect local customs. Don't mess with wildlife. Don't treat it like a theme park. Yeah, none of those things. The sneaky danger, boredom, panic. Okay, after dinner, maybe a bar or two, some live music. People will say, what now? No, go to bed. Okay, so yeah, all right, interesting. Okay, send me the best bars, please. I understand the overall, it was good advice. It was great advice from the GPT. Let's check out the bar. Boom, Daddy's. A local favorite pub, central and casual spot for local beers, including Greenlandic brews. Pool tables, darts, and relaxed vibes. Good for getting everyone warmed up before heading out. Heading out fucking where? Sir? Let's check out Daddy's. An Irish-inspired pub and bar. God damn it. Okay. It's an Irish-inspired pub and bar located in Imminec 30 and blah, blah, blah. It serves as one of the city's central social spots, offering locally brewed beers and casual meals in a relaxed, convivial atmosphere. Setting near the waterfront. The whole thing is a waterfront, sweetheart. Okay, so Daddy's. I mean, I like Daddy's. We're heading to Daddy's. The thing that I've learned, and I know I've talked about this before, is when you go somewhere and you want, I just want a local spot, I want a vibe, I want a bar, it's always Irish. Every damn time it's Irish, okay? And when I was in Paris, I was like, this is so fun, and I was going to the right places where you go when you sit down and they serve you a little appetizer and you get a bottle of wine, you do the Paris thing, maybe you have a little sip, maybe you have a little cig on the fucking on the patio at a table out front. I don't know why I said patio. You're sitting in the street. But the second you're like, dude, I just want to go to a normal bar and have a beer, there's always just an Irish place being like, just come to the Irish pub. It'll remind you of home. And that's what we're doing here. I want something a little more unique. I was in Macau. I was in Chinese Vegas. We were like, no one was drinking. They were all just gambling. We finally found an Irish bar. It was literally every white person in all of Macau was like, oh my God, finally a place that can serve our socially acceptable alcoholism. We could go to Skyline Bar, a high-end cocktail and piano bar located on the 5th floor. Oh, we getting up there now. The 5th floor of the Hotel Hans Egede in Nuuk, Greenland, known as one of the city's most exclusive venues. It offers sweeping views of Nuuk's fjord and surrounding mountains, making it a focal point on the local nightlife scene. Come on. Live music and dancing. Come on. Average rating of 4.9 out of 5 stars on review. Come on. We're going to Skyline. We are going to Skyline. Okay, look at this. This is, this is good. The fuck is this? I'm sorry, I'm looking at this photo, and it looks like there's a mascot in here. That can't be what I'm looking at. Very confusing. Not the point. Okay, so we're going to Skyline, having fun. So it's not a great bachelor party spot. Bonus spots. Okay. Esme Lounge, Cafe Esmeralda. All right. Oh, Garrigan, the nightclub connected to Daddy's. Oh. Come on. We're going to Garrigan. Okay. Garrigan Nuuk nightclub. Bring Daddy home. Come on, let's take a peek. Let's go to the Graham here. Garrigan nightclub closed. Okay. Well, they tried. Girls' night. All right, look at this. People are, okay, you can get after it a little bit. All right. People are out there. They're out there at Garrigan. Is this place, does it not exist anymore? Dancing nightclub, Fridays and Saturdays. Okay, it'll be, okay, it's going to be around. They got, I don't even know who this DJ is. Kaka. Kaka's in the house. Kaka. We're going to go see Kaka. In February. We're going to go see Kaka. All right, so I feel like we've learned a little bit about Greenland, and that's good because everyone's going to be talking about it, and we're going to be talking about it from an American perspective, but you can say, oh, you guys don't even speak Kalaallisuts? You guys don't even eat pussy? Come on now. Y'all don't even know about Garrigan nightclub? Y'all don't know about a spiritual cry in the evening? What you don't want to do is come off as an ignorant shithead American like our president did speaking about the Greenland situation at Davos. Here it is. Roll the clip.
I don't know that they'd be there for us. They're not there for us on Iceland, that I can tell you. I mean, our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland. So Iceland's already cost us a lot of money. But that dip is peanuts compared to what it's gone up. And we
Folks, Donald Trump, I mean, frankly, have you not paid attention to the main piece of cinema that covers this exact topic? Something we all have known forever. D2, roll the clip.
He's gonna keep us down.
Yeah, ice cream. Oh, wait a minute, I thought Iceland was covered with ice.
Iceland? No, it's very green.
I thought Greenland was green.
Greenland is covered with ice, and Iceland is very nice. I imagine it to be like Minnesota, where you're from.
Oh, Jesus, bringing up Minnesota.
I asked around.
Okay.
Look at this. She's an Iceland chick. What's he doing with her? Great coach we got.
From Gordon Bombay's lips to God's ears. How do you not know the Iceland-Greenland difference there? And the fact that she would even bring Minnesota into this, given everything that's going on there, especially in a debate about ice, this is just It has always been one of the best movies of all time, and it continues to prove its relevancy and importance in debate on the global scale. D2, Mighty Ducks 2, watch it or you will forever make a fool of yourself when you discuss international relations. It's just that simple, guys. It's just that simple. Trump, you gotta fucking know the difference. Now, of course, he doesn't. He hasn't paid attention to Greenland the same way that we have, okay? But Gordon Bombay knows. Run the clip again.
He's gonna keep us down.
Yeah. Ice cream. Oh, wait a minute. I thought Iceland was covered with ice.
Iceland? No, it's very green.
I thought Greenland was green.
Greenland is covered with ice, and Iceland is very nice.
You'll never make this mistake if you've seen the film. It's just important, Trump. Pay attention to the key pieces of cinema that inform our lives, our country, and our future. It's an absolute fucking disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. All right, let's move on. And before we do, let's just do a quick little tour date check-in. Come on out and see me on the road. If you're listening to this on the day it's released, come to Philadelphia. I will be there tonight. Huntsville, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey, Naples, Florida, Dania Beach, Florida, Dallas, Texas, Bernalillo, New Mexico. Plenty more coming. If you're not on the mailing list, go to joeyavery.com to sign up for that so I can let you know when I'm coming to your town. You can also request a town. It's a beautiful thing, and we need to build email lists because who knows if the algorithm will just decide to ruin my life and career. And that's a very possible thing that we all deal with. So isn't that fun? Now, speaking of the algorithm here, check this out. This is an uncontacted tribe emerging from the Amazon rainforest. And look at them right there. If you're just listening, the haircuts are unbelievable. They also have their big waistband tuck culture. So they have kind of a band around their belly, and they tuck the top of the penis in there. So definitely kind of a ball showcasing sort of scenario. And this is world's first footage of an uncontacted tribe. The person who posted it, Paul Rosalie. He gave a full accounting of why he posted the video. Obviously, there's ethical concerns, and the reason he ended up posting it is because of the work he's doing trying to actually save the part of their forest that they live in that is under threat. Whatever, you can handle the ethics with him. It's just fascinating to see how people who haven't connected with the outside world are living and what haircut they've all 100% unanimously chosen. And it's kind of a vibe. And it's kind of amazing. They're living a very different life, and it's just proof that, like, we don't really, we come from our culture, so hey, this is how we do things. We have microphones, and we speak into cameras, and we distribute it online, and you all listen to it. Well, it's honestly just as strange as what they're doing. They're just doing a nice little flip talk with the boys, being kind of shredded. I mean, they're definitely not overeating. The boys look pretty good, though. Okay, showcasing some balls and vibing and looking fantastic. Now, all this is going on, okay, and I want to juxtapose this. All this is going on at the exact same time as I'm paying attention to a drama that has broken out that only makes sense to the terminally online. And this drama is, of course, that a streamer named Sneeko, a political streamer named Nick Fuentes, Andrew Tate, top G of the Manosphere, and Myron, another Manosphere gentleman that has caused all sorts of ruckus for my comedian friend Akash Singh. All of these kind of general edgelordy Manosphere guys, along with their newest member, a looks maxer, meaning a kid who is focused on being hot, named Clavicular. This is basically a group of gentlemen who have made their living off of being generally pieces of shit, but also entertaining. They went to a nightclub in They went to a nightclub in Miami, and they played the Kanye Hail Hitler song. So this caused a huge deal in online circles in Miami. People are getting kind of canceled over it, and the only one who seemed to back off is Andrew Tate. He said something to the effect of like, I never supported it. I got out of the car, and I know why these kids are doing it. They're doing it because it gets this reaction, and the reaction is what they want, and it's what they thrive off of, and they're just going further and further and down this rabbit hole just to get this reaction, which is really funny because it's actually how he made his entire career, and this entire world that they're in is predicated off of saying the craziest, most next-level thing you can because, as he put it, everyone is bored of everything all the time, 20 minutes later, and it's the same way that our politics have gotten to this point that we're all in. And so the only thing they could really do to have fun at this nightclub, because none of them were really pulling girls, they tried to bring girls to Nick Fuentes. He was like, no, I'm afraid. He was so awkward and so weird because he really only feels at home behind a desk because he's actually really just a fucking loser, as most of them kind of are. None of them are like fulfilled, happy, reasonable people. They're edgelord freaks who are just trying to do one thing after another. So to play the Hail Hitler song really fired them up and got them, a little moment, and now it's the moment that everyone's talking about, and this is kind of the thing, and he's kind of like bouncing off, but it's all ironic because that's how he's even famous in the first place. And what's interesting about all of it is I think we should show this to that Amazon rainforest tribe and let them decide. That's what I think. I think we just introduced them to putting bananas on a boat so that they can eat them, and introduce them to the first guys that they've seen that are not flip-tucking, at least publicly, that are not showcasing dong, and that do not have the objectively sweet haircut that they have. And we should introduce them to the deep end of the internet and just see what happens. I'm sure some of you are like, actually, why would you do that? We should leave them alone. I fucking know that. Think with me. We're doing a bit of maybe satire of pushing things far. Yeah, of course we should leave them alone. But maybe they're the ones that should help us adjudicate this deeply online drama that makes so much sense to a small amount of people and no sense to the vast array of society, and yet is still dangerous enough to infect the minds of a large amount of youth. I have to think about this. We all have to think about this because I envision, if and when I have children, which is a plan, you kind of just envision this like rose-colored, like, oh, well, they'll be, sure, we'll fight. They'll be 13, but really they'll be these like awesome, amazing expressions of me that I love more than anything else. And really they'll deeply love me. And like, yeah, I'll have to force them to work hard and like do their schoolwork. But like ultimately I'll be present and they'll be good kids and that'll be an awesome thing. But you do have to think, you do these days have to wonder, what if a very charming but annoying, disaffected, absolute shitbag can co-opt whatever their manliness is that corresponds to the fact that they've probably, to this point in their lives, been unsuccessful with women and can just trick them with like cars and edgelordiness, that they just become a piece of shit because they've been watching this person over and over again. And it's like, hey, you're not going to listen to your dad. Why don't you listen to your dad's pod? At least it has a healthier perspective on women, and it's still fun. I made 25 minutes of jokes about going to Greenland to eat pussy. Pussy. My apologies. Got the pronunciation wrong. I don't know who's better off. I think a hybrid is what you want. I think you want to be somewhere between uncontacted Amazonian tribe and playing Kanye songs that reference Hitler just to get a rise on the internet. I think somewhere right down the pipe is good. I think take the haircut, we're keeping that. We're going to keep the haircut from the Amazon. Everyone gets that haircut. Can I put the haircut on me? I don't know if I'll be able to find the haircut. I hope I've been able to put the haircut on me. I'd like to have the haircut on me, even if poorly done. Okay? Who's my editor? Oh, it's me. Okay, well, I'm not going to move my head then. We're keeping that haircut, okay? And we're keeping some advances of the internet, some knowledge of things that are going on in the world, some knowledge of what's moving people, okay? But we're stopping before going to a nightclub to play that just to be a piece of shit. Is that a reasonable place to be? We are knowing things. We are forced to know things against our will. Too many things against our will. We are learning too many things against our will. Frankly, we are like that Amazon tribe. They didn't wish to be contacted, but they have, and now they're curious. They want to know. So do I. Oh, what is going on? Oh, I heard about that guy. Yeah. Oh, what's that guy up to? I wonder what that guy's up to. Oh, now I know too much about that guy, and it doesn't make me feel so good. Well, got to learn. And this is why the one thing we can do that we've mentioned is check in. Yes, we know what's going on in the world, but also we touch grass. We touch grass. And sometimes our grass touching is not enough. Because we go outside and we look at the moon and it's not hitting. We go outside and we look at the stars and we can't see them. We're trying our best to stay locked into a cosmic, complete understanding of who we are as people. But we keep getting roped back into the day-to-day, the minutia, the Trump said what, they said this. And the only thing I can think to do, the only thing I can really think that would pull us so firmly back into the harsh reality of the nature that surrounds us, the only thing that combines that with an understanding of what is important and what's a hot topic in the world today, the only thing we can really do is take a trip to Greenland with the boys and try to eat some patty. Thank you very much for listening to The Joey Show. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 98. This was. Thank you very much. Shout out to the 12. The faithful and loving. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment on every platform and all that. We are doing it the hard way. But we're having fun here, and that's what really matters. I hope that your week is good and lovely and full of plenty. Good night. Thank God I have a